realized that for day 5 for Junk Journal July, I made the spread, but I never made a video. And the prompt is lettering. And I saw a couple people doing quotes. And this is a quote of a book that I've read recently, and it stuck up with me. And I wanted to include it here because it's become kind of like a mantra. So the book is El Invisible de Liliana. It's translated, it's been translated to English. It's called Liliana's Invisible Summer by Cristina Rivera Garza. It is an amazing book. I was able to get it from my library in Spanish. So I'm really thankful to my library that was able to do, I forgot what they call it. It's an internal loan or whatever, and I was able to get the copy in Spanish because I wanted to read it in Spanish. And it was a book that is hard to read, but it is it's good. It's nonfiction, and she talks about the murder of her sister. So it's good, and it won the Pulitzer Prize. I can't speak. Sorry, Pulitzer Prize this year. So it is a good read. There's a lot of content warnings. It is, like I said, a true story. So there's a lot of things to look out for if you want to look for those first. A lot of domestic violence, and so if you want to make sure that you're aware of those before you get into this book. But other than that, if you are able to read it, it is a great read. So the quote that I included for day 5 came from that. And in Spanish it says, en lo más crudo del invierno, aprendí que existe en mí un invencible verano. And in English, it is translated to, in the midst of winter, I found that there was within me an invisible summer. This quote is not by the author. It is actually an Albert Camus quote. And Liliana reads a lot. And she found that quote. And she repeats it to herself as well as to other friends. So it's constantly present in the book, and it's an amazing quote. I found, just doing like a quick Google search, I found somebody that, that wrote like where the quote actually came from. And it just talks about how even though she was going through a really tough time, she found out that there's a resilience and a warmth within her. So this is my spread. I wanted to include that little explanation that I found because it's from reading the book. I think it's pretty true to what we see Liliana going through. And that is the spread. I a little bit of winter stuff that goes with the quotes, and that is the spread. So like I said, I talked a little bit about the book. I've been writing a lot of notes. So I took this notebook and I started making a lot of notes from the book. Like I said, it's definitely worth the read. There's a lot of statistics about this happened. Liliana's murder happened in 1990 in Mexico. So there's a lot of important information about statistics and about domestic violence, and how it was not really, there wasn't really a definition for a lot of the terms that we know right now. And so there was a lot of things that I wanted to write about because, for example, there was um, no actual name for what victims of domestic violence were going through, and a lot of the times were just, they were not taken serious by the police. Not that, and she talks about it too, that not a lot has been changed since the murder of Liliana. I forgot where I wrote it, but like I said, I do have a lot of notes. But she talks about how not a lot has changed, but slowly we come to recognize the terms that we now know. But they talk about statistics of, domestic violence and feminicides that are going on in Mexico, but also all over the world. And the author, which is, like I said, Liliana's sister, also talks about another book. It is called No Visible Bruises. It's another nonfiction book that she, while she was doing all her research about the murder of her sister and feminicide. I'm not sure if I'm saying that word right. Feminicides or feminicidios in Mexico and all over the world. She read No Visible Bruises by, the last name is Snyder. I'm drawing a blank on the full name, but I think it's Rachel Snyder. And it's, if you are interested in the subject, that's another book that I also read. And if you want to know more about that. But yeah, it's just wanted to show you my notes. I'm constantly thinking about this book. I finished it about a month ago. I'm constantly thinking of it, and when I thought, I'm going to add a quote, this was the perfect quote to include it. And like I said, it's we all have our own winter that we're going through. So we just have to remind ourselves that there is hope. So that is it. Let me know if you have read anything by Cristina Rivera Garza. She has other books that she's written before. And I'm interested to see if the library might have anything else by her, so I can check it out. And let me know if you would be interested to read this book, or if you read it, if you want to share any thoughts. And that is it for the video. Let me know also if you're participating in Junk Journal July, and how you're doing with your spreads. Some of the spreads I have recorded, some of them I have not. I've just been doing things off camera, but so far this is what I got. Alright, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one.